Hi, everybody. Oh, wait, I've got my mic way over here. Welcome. Thank you all for coming. So glad you're with us tonight. I'm here with Soph from the
Yeah.
Allotment Newbie.
Yes. Hello, everyone.
Oh, another rookie mistake here. I have my thing on. Anyway, now, Soph, at what point are you going to have to rename your channel because you're no longer the newbie?
Do you know what was so weird you said that? I literally had that thought the other day, and I was like, I have to do a rebrand.
Yeah.
I don't know, because at the same time, I don't think anyone ever really truly becomes an expert. I think I'll
Well,
always
newbie,
be
yeah, newbie and expert. Those are two very end of the
different
spectrums on
spectrum.
both ends. I
Oh,
just
I
think because
don't
I look
know.
at you now and I think you're not a newbie anymore. You know,
Kind
maybe
of,
that
it's hard. It's definitely hard. I think I'm definitely gonna have to rename myself at some point. I don't know when. I think I'll leave that up to everyone to be like, do you know what? There's some knowledge there now. You can rename yourself.
maybe the gardener, previously known as the allotment newbie,
Yes,
and
it
you can
rolls
come
off
up
the
with a
tongue that.
symbol. You can come up with a symbol.
I
Well,
love
hi.
that.
Let me just say hi to a few of you in the chat. Denise, Mel, Rob. Thank you for being here. Let's see. You guys are chatting a lot. Lisa, good to see
Sweet.
you. Joey, thanks for popping in. Anna, let's see.
It goes fast.
Stephen, it does go fast. And my biggest difficulty is talking and thinking something while I'm trying to read something else. So, Mike and Dave, good to have Danny. Good to see you. Welcome. Mark. Wow, we've got a lot
It's a
of
full
folks in
chat.
here.
Yeah.
Ruthie. Yeah, so if I haven't called your name, maybe I will later as we're kind of going through things. Uh, but as at the end of the garden season here, and even those of
Mhm.
you who can still garden, sometimes, our gardening mojo kind of takes a hit. And I think as the season even begins to wind down, and like the end is kind of coming, and you're watering one more time and you're weeding one more time, kind of wears on you a little bit. Um, so what do you think, Sophie? Do you Soph, sorry. What do you think? How is your mojo feeling right now?
Honestly, it's definitely run out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm at that point where it's like, I am exhausted now. Everything is a blur, and you just you're looking at everything. There's still so much to do, and I think that's what makes it worse. Is it's not. I mean, some people do put their allotments to bed at the end of the year, but for me, I'm still starting, so I've still got so much to do, but I've just run out of the energy.
Now, does it help for you to take a bit of a break?
It does.
Or okay.
Yeah, I'd
So
say it
you
does.
don't necessarily plant more when you can. You just
Mm.
go, "You know what? I'm just gonna
I'm having a break.
clear it up, take a break." Yeah, and for those
Yes.
of us with more distinct seasons, we kinda
Mm.
don't have a choice,
Yeah.
and I feel like that's kind of a good thing.
Yeah. Makes
Uh,
you take a break.
yes. Um, so was there anything in your allotment year that began to wear on you?
It's gonna sound like a weird one, but I don't know if people I've definitely complained about this so many times, but chard. If you've seen I think it might have been one of my last sort of updates. If you've seen it, it's self-seeded everywhere, and I can't get rid of it, and it grows like a massive a prehistoric plant, and it's
Mhm.
just relentless. Every time I come back, so I'm within like 2 days, I'm strimming again, I'm mowing again, back again, and it's like everything just goes crazy, and I don't get the time to then do the nice stuff. And yeah, that's taken out of me,
So
that
and
has.
you don't like chard, do you?
Oh, and I hate it.
Okay.
I've I'm
So in
trying to like it.
but in your garden, then it's a weed because it's just growing and you don't really want it to. I mean,
No.
that's a weed, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And you also have a lot of asparagus, don't you?
Oh God, the asparagus. This is it, right? So I'm gonna go on a rant
Let
now.
it go. Yep, rant away.
The guy that had the plot before, apparently that was the only two things he grew was just an abundance of chard and an abundance of asparagus. And don't I know it because it's taken over the whole plot and it will not be eradicated. It will stay no matter what I do. So it's a battle. The asparagus, I will say, I've slowly kind of come to like it and I might keep it just because it's so expensive to buy in the supermarket. But other than that,
And you weren't
chard,
really an asparagus lover either.
no, I wasn't. I
Oh,
wasn't. Do you know what the
wow.
trick is? I started putting cheese on it. Cheese has made it so much better.
It's like saying I added butter,
It
right?
is.
So, like, okay, so it's a delivery system for cheese for you. Okay.
Yeah. That's the soft launch into liking it, I guess.
Okay. Now, did you find the weather impacted, you feeling discouraged about the garden as well?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. I'm not sure. I think your weather kind of mimics our weather quite closely, to be
It
honest.
does. Yeah.
I mean, this year's just been really wet, like
Yeah.
consecutive days of wet, and that really does mess up your routine, which is important to sort of keep the motivation going.
Right.
So that's kind of disrupted the routine and it limits what you can do as well. So that's been a big effect this year, I think.
Now, do you find that you can grow, well in your beautiful new greenhouse? I mean, I really have greenhouse envy.
I
I
can't.
love I love black greenhouses, like,
It looks
if I had
good.
a greenhouse, that'd be the only color I'd get. It's
That's
so
it.
elegant looking. Oh my gosh.
I saw it on Pinterest or Pinterest or whatever it's called, and yeah, as soon as I saw the black greenhouse, I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna
Yep.
get that."
I did the
And
same, and I thought if I ever get one, it's black.
it has to be. It looks so
Yeah,
sleek. But I've also had since putting it up, there's been one more person on the plot that's got one. So I'm
I
feeling a change in the trends coming.
well, I kind of feel like, how can you see that and then go, "Nope, I'd like just aluminum metal looking."
Mhm.
Like, no,
The option
it's
is there.
it's so beautiful. Now, can you maybe help the chard go away if you pull it before it goes to seed? Do you think?
That's what I've been doing. So whenever I see it, I'm literally right there pulling it out
Okay.
and the root I did not realize the roots on chard, they're bad. They go all the way down.
Yeah, they're
Um
big plants that like to be where they are.
Yeah, so this
Yeah.
it was a really big learning year about chard this about chard this year. Um, but yeah, I've been pulling it out and I've been trying to do it before it goes to seed. But I think where the plot's been left prior with all the chard on it and just been left to go to seed because it was all probably up to my shoulder with weeds before I got it. And I think it's the damage is done now. I just think there's probably loads of seed.
And you've only been there, what, 6 months?
A
8
year
months?
now. I've done it a year. A
Wow,
whole year. I
okay.
got it on November the 12th, so just
Okay.
gone.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, so
So
it's
are
still
you,
fresh.
trying to get your asparagus patch a little bit smaller? Because I know you said it was, like, half the
Mhm.
plot, right?
Yeah, so it takes up like a massive strip. So I kind of have the bottom end where I've planted quite a lot of stuff in at the moment. Then the top end where my greenhouse is, there's like a trash mound, which that's a whole nother battle I don't even want to think about. And then you've got the asparagus that pretty much takes up the top half. And it just
Oh,
goes the whole way along. So it's taking
okay.
up a lot of space. But I'm thinking I'm going to keep it. I'm just going to make it look pretty. And that will solve
Well,
everything.
and that although when they go to fronds, when they put up their I mean, they just
Yeah.
it's
Take up so
almost a
much space.
wall.
Yeah.
Yes, they do. It's
It looks
beautiful.
nice, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's a lot of space.
My son was here recently and obviously not a gardener. He looked at the asparagus. This was before they had died off. He said, "Is
Yeah.
that a dill plant, Mom?" And I was like, "Well, if that's a prehistoric dill plant, if that's a dill plant."
That's an impressive deal plan.
I know. So I said, "No, that's asparagus." "What?"
What? Is that what it
Yeah.
looks like?
Yeah, that's exactly what it looks like, honey, and it's happy where it is, so now
Don't disturb it, honestly.
do you live anywhere near Jessie?
Um, I'm kind of Jessie's more London, isn't she? Like central
Yeah,
London, central, maybe
yes.
not central London, but more London, London. Whereas I'm kind of like rural outskirts. So maybe like
Okay.
2
Well,
hours away by train, hour.
she's a big chard fan,
I
so
know.
maybe you should ask her to come. Take
Take
all
it
that you
all.
want, but pull it
Honestly,
out by the root, just don't cut it off.
take it
Take
and have it.
take 'cause she just might do that for you.
She's been really nice and she's given me recipes for it, which I will admit they have been nice,
But I
but
think chard has a certain flavor that you
it
kinda have
does.
to.
Earthy.
Yeah, uh,
Earthy, that's it.
yeah, it is. It's almost like eating beet greens that aren't really meant to be
Yes.
eaten.
Yes, that's
Yeah,
it. You have
yeah,
to disguise it in something else, which is how I've been using it. I've just as long as it's in something, I can eat it. Almost eating it out of spite at this point, just to get rid of it. It's insane.
yeah. Yeah, I've seen people dehydrate that and make a powder out of it
That's a
to
good
just boost
idea.
nutrients in
I've never
soups and
thought of that.
things.
Yeah,
I mean, that's maybe something, but I
that's a
think what you
brilliant
really wanna
idea.
do is, like, get rid of it and
Mhm.
plant pretty things instead.
Just I just don't wanna see it anymore. It just takes up so much space and yeah, I can't. Even in the beds that I've weeded, I've got like cauliflower in. They'll be in between the cauliflower. They're just everywhere.
Yeah,
I can't get rid of it.
wow,
I've
so I'm
tried.
sorry that you're not a lover of that because
I
most
know.
would
Most people
really. Yeah, I
jump
used to
at it.
plant it actually in my front yard at our last home
Mm,
because I loved how I would plant the rainbow mix, and it's
that
so
looks pretty.
pretty
Yeah,
that I would just let it grow in between the bushes, and if we ate it, great, if we didn't, it just
it
looked
looks.
pretty.
Yeah.
So maybe make it a.
Maybe I replace it. Maybe I plant the rainbow mixed chard and let that take over. Because at the moment it's just the green and the white. I think it's silver something. I think
Okay.
they're the ones I've got. Um, but yeah, that's just
Yeah, I never grow those 2 colors of chard, I always grow the pretty ones
yeah.
because again, I don't feel as bad if I don't eat it all.
At least it looks good. I
At
know
least it
Jesse's
looks like
actually got
it's more. Yeah.
the pink ones, so maybe that's what I do.
Yeah, maybe choke it out with something you like, right?
Absolutely.
So do you find the best way to get over, a less than happy garden mojo is to take a break?
Absolutely. I'd say take a break, and I've kind of been I think it's more the pressure because there's a lot of pressure around allotments, isn't there? Obviously the upkeep, and if you don't keep it up, then you're going to get a letter, and if you get a letter, you might get kicked off, and so there's always that pressure of you've got to keep on top of it, keep on top of it, and I think there's that mental load to constantly have that it just takes a lot out of you over the year. So just to have that break and sit down and go right, it's in a place at the moment where it can rest, I can rest and
Yeah.
I can make a good plan for the next year. And then you start to get a bit excited because you're like, okay, I can tackle that. I can make that better. That's going to actually look really nice. I can put some flowers there. That's when I think that's the stage I'm at the moment. I've had my sort of break and I'm starting to look to the future, I guess.
Okay. Now you
Yeah.
were still able to harvest a lot of your
Mhm.
things, right? Even
Oh,
while you
absolutely.
were kind of grumpy
Yeah.
about the process,
Yeah.
right? And I think that's always helpful if even if I haven't done something, I
Mhm.
planted it, it's at least relatively nourished,
Yeah.
and it gives me something back.
Yeah. It's a
Yeah.
good feeling.
Yeah.
Really good
Now for
feeling.
me, it's when those seed catalogs start coming in,
Oh God. And
and
don't they come in thick and fast all at
I have a
once?
pile of about 8 inches that is
Same.
all seed catalogs,
Same.
that I'm gonna try and go through the next couple of
In
weeks.
order for next year.
Yeah, because
Oh,
that brings me great joy.
yeah.
Uh, I'm
You got
trying to
any in
think.
mind? What are you sort of planning? Any new varieties?
Yeah, and I always like to do at least a few new things.
Yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Otherwise,
absolutely.
it gets I think it's boring
Mhm.
if you're not,
Trying new things.
trying to try something new, yeah.
Oh, I agree,
So, yeah,
absolutely.
I've been trying to grow hibiscus for
Oh,
the last
really?
couple of years because
Okay.
I wanna get the seed pods for
Mhm.
tea. Makes
Yes,
a
I just
lovely
about
like
to
a
say
red
that.
zinger, yeah, like a red
Yeah.
zinger tea, and I have not been able this first year, disaster. This
Okay.
last year, it at least produced some flowers,
Yeah.
but the seed pods were like I mean, I'd
Weren't
had
good.
half a cup of watery tea if I made it.
Eh,
So I'm darned and determined this next year, we're gonna have a hibiscus.
I'm gonna do it right.
Yeah, because 'cause I'm trying to grow more things for tea.
Same, same.
Yeah, because
Actually got, I can show you in my little,
oh, I saw that you have a data,
this is a very lazy
a
way of doing it, by the way.
spreadsheet. You have a spreadsheet that
Oh,
looks
my
impressive.
spreadsheet. I've still not finished it. I'm at 84 different varieties of flowers at the moment because I kind of loved vegetables last year, and this year it's all about the flowers. So that's something. This is the little tea plant thing I'm trying to get to germinate, but
Oh,
it's kind of, I think it's rooted the tiniest bit. But I've tried it in compost, I've tried it every other way, and it's just not having it at the moment. So I've tried it in some sphagnum moss.
now what kind of
Um,
tea would that produce?
I think it's the green tea. It's the
Okay.
camellia. It's just the standard. It's off Chiltern's. Oh, my hair's stuck in it. It's a seed website here. I think it's just a
Yeah.
standard tea plant. So yeah, I'm
Oh, yeah.
starting that.
I can get to Chilterns through Etsy.
Oh, you can.
Yeah,
Okay.
because they
Yeah, they
don't
do
ship
tea.
here, but I found that they are through Etsy. I can order them.
Oh, and I can always send
So
you stuff if you need it. I can get you some tea bits.
yeah,
Send it
because
over.
I don't think it's quite as big a deal over here. We're
It
more the
should
coffee
be. It's
hounds.
fun.
Oh,
Oh,
I love
yes,
it.
true. Yeah,
Yeah, we are
forget
coffee
about
hounds
that.
over here for sure. Um, oh, I see. Oh, Andy, good to see you. Jason,
Okay.
we've heard great things about your jam, Jason. Um, he made a great chili jam
Stop.
for Tony C. Smith, and
Yes, I
then
saw that.
he auctioned one. I don't see you didn't auction it. You put your name in and he drew one. And so I'm kind of anxious to get that second opinion, but he just loved it.
It looked
I
good.
I think chili jam is I mean, it's the greatest, hot but sweet.
Yeah, I love it.
Um,
It's nice.
Absolutely wonderful.
I'm gonna have to look into a recipe or something because it did look good.
So are there any new varieties on your flower list
Mhm.
that you haven't grown before? What are they?
Loads. So I didn't really do any flowers last year. I had maybe like some hydrangeas and dahlias, and that was probably about it. I dabbled in snapdragons, which I thought were brilliant, and zinnias, and that's it. So this year
Oh,
I'm doing. I've got like
zinnias
a.
with zinnias,
There's
they just never stop.
yeah, they look so good as well.
Oh, they're gorgeous.
That's so I've gone crazy on the zinnias. I'm shame I don't have my list. I've gone crazy on the zinnias, and I've also got a little bit into like floristry. So I've gone into like looking at my focal flowers and my fillers and my accents. So
Okay.
I've got got a little bit of that going on. So loads of cosmos, sort of like what else are we doing? Zinnias, status, just gomphrena, everything you can think of. I've got at least one seed of it to try this year. So
Now,
wish
do
me
you
luck.
start your snapdragons from seed?
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay,
Why?
help me understand that because I used to buy my starts for snapdragons. And
Okay.
then, of course, you look in the catalogs and there's 90 other versions that you can't buy
Yes.
at a home place. Uh, I found them the most difficult thing to seed. They all germinated,
Yeah.
but then they stay like the size of a
Teeny tiny.
pinhead
Yes.
for
They
it
take
seems like
ages.
forever.
They do. They do take absolutely forever. And I did
Okay.
I'll probably do the same again this year, but I'm pretty sure I did a really late sowing of them in that winter sowing sort of method. So I just stuck
Yes.
them in a jug, left them outside, and just didn't think about them. And that's the easiest way to do it because you don't have to touch them.
And
Just
that
let them get
worked
on
for
with
you.
it. That worked. And I got about 3 really healthy
Oh.
plants, which I saved seed from because the seeds they give you once they're done, you you would never have to buy them again. Like I've got so many seeds now. It's I wouldn't buy them again, basically.
Okay, you know what? I will try that this year.
Oh
I've
no,
never tried snapdragons in that.
yeah, yeah,
And
they do really well.
I have great success with winter sowing, whatever,
Yes,
it
it's
is.
fun.
Isn't it the easiest?
Oh, it's so easy. It's the
It's
easiest
almost
way
like,
to
how this
garden.
just seems, like, ridiculous that you can do things like this.
But how exciting is it when you get to like you wait maybe like 3, 4 months and you're like, oh, it's time to open all the winter sowings. You open it and all of the like the
It
foliage
all
pops
pops
out.
out. Yes,
Yeah,
no,
it's great.
it's and I think flowers are I mean, you have to start them earlier, a lot of them,
They take
and
so
they're
long.
a lot of care. to
Yes.
get those things to a point where you're gonna have a flower
Yep. Or
during the
not be
year.
eaten as well. That was, yeah,
Well,
that
and that's another
happened.
good reason to winter sow because nothing's getting into those jugs,
Absolutely. And
right?
I've seen some really, f I guess, smart ways, even smarter ways, because I find that quite smart, just leaving them. But smarter ways of doing it now, where people just get big, sort of storage containers, like the big plastic containers
Uh-huh.
that you just put, like, toys in, I guess. And they're just putting the individual pots in, a few holes in the top, and just leaving it in that now instead. I guess it's like a glorified cold frame.
That would
Um,
be, yeah.
yeah, so it's kind of dabbling in that. I might try that this year, but I probably will stick to the bottles just because it's more fun.
Well, yeah, and you can have one in each.
That's it. That's it. And they
Uh,
don't get mixed up that way.
yeah, well, Andy has a question here.
Mhm.
Uh, what would be the easiest no messing flowers for a border on the allotment?
Probably Cosmos. They're so pretty. And you just, once they're down, you just leave them. They spread out quite a bit though, is the only thing.
Okay, now
Um,
do they self-seed?
I guess technically they would. I'm not too sure. I haven't grown them yet. I've not seen that process
Okay.
from start to finish. I
I've
guess
never
they
let them
could.
go to seed, so I don't know.
I would be
I
cutting them, so again, I'm not sure I'd let them get to that stage.
Right. That's kinda what I do when I have a nice cutting
Mhm.
flower. I also think, alyssum is an
Oh, yeah.
incredibly easy for a pretty border because you
Mhm.
can kinda control that just by whacking off what you don't want, and it will not hurt the
Absolutely.
plant. Those things will
Come
grow in
back.
dead sun, and they will self-seed.
Yes.
So, they will come back. I don't like to mess with, like, marigolds or anything that needs to be deadheaded,
And they will
for a border.
self-seed like crazy
Oh,
once
and
they go.
yeah, and the thought that you have to self-seed I mean, deadhead it to keep
Mhm.
it going, so alyssum kinda became my new I kinda forgot about it. It'd been years since I grew it, and now
It's so pretty.
oh,
I
and
love it.
that one winter sows beautifully.
Does it? Okay, I'm gonna
'Cause
add that
then
to my list.
you can just chop that bottle, the contents of the bottle up. You don't even have to be
Yeah.
very delicate with them.
Okay,
They
okay.
don't seem to care.
That is the best kind then.
It sure is, 'cause then I think it requires less thought.
Oh, absolutely.
It just kinda happens.
I'm
So
trying to think if
any of
that's it.
you in the chat that have, issues with getting discouraged or bored in the garden as the year comes to an end, uh, I I sometimes think it's because gardens, although they're fun and we love them, they're
Mhm.
work.
They are work.
And
Hard work.
particularly when, uh, I mean, I still work out of the home. I mean, I'm not retired. So I think if you're trying to juggle this with
Yes.
a full life and you're working 40 hours a week, it's not always that easy. And mine's just in my backyard. So I don't even
Absolutely.
have to really go very far. But yeah, it can get I know by August, it's the watering is like
Yeah. It's the weeds and the watering, isn't it? It's like
yes,
twofold
because
almost.
August, it seems like they just go it's there's too many weeds and too little
Mhm.
water,
Too little water,
which weeds
absolutely.
for some reason seem to like. I'm not quite sure how that works, but they
Just
don't really
try.
care.
No, they don't. They
Uh,
just thrive for everything.
they do. They do. I wish we could cultivate beautiful weeds,
Yeah,
but yeah, I don't think
and
we're
not charred. That'd be brilliant.
yeah, well, but just like you, the chard is a weed for your garden,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah,
and
it
that's
is.
not as ugly as many of the weeds I've seen.
This is true. This is very true.
Uh, so I hear some issues with the frost.
Okay.
Yeah, we are, I was gonna be potting or planting some more tulips today. Ground is frozen.
Same here.
So, I understand, and I did this, I put them in a crate in the we have an unheated garage.
Mhm.
They said for our latitude, they should be fine, and we can get them in as soon as the ground softens up, so I've never done that, so I'm gonna take that risk.
Yeah.
But it's nice to know because sometimes life just happens and you can't always.
That's it. Absolutely.
We were gone for a month. Would I have given that up? No. I mean, I saw my grandchildren. I'm like, yes,
Yes.
please.
Yeah.
Um,
Seasons change way too quickly, and that's probably an effect, isn't it? It's you can't catch up or keep up with how quick the seasons change. So one minute
right,
you're dealing with weeds, and the next minute is frost.
right. Or you're harvesting. Like I think I told you earlier today, we left and the garden was still lush. It was slowing
Mhm.
down, but it was still lush.
Yeah,
We came home to everything was dead
that's it.
because that month is a big month to not be here attending to things. Uh, oh, here's JB is talking about his mojo. I'm
Yes,
realizing my mojo is pretty much influenced by how much free time
it's a
I
very
have
good
to do
point.
things. Yeah,
Mhm.
that is so true. Because again, you're still well, you're probably at the beginning of your career,
Yeah.
JB. But yeah, it's hard when you're juggling and you're trying to get a whole lot of things done. And as a homeowner, there's just always something.
Mhm.
Uh,
You feel out of routine as well, isn't it? It's if you kind of have a nice consistent routine and things are going well and anything disrupts that and you fall out of that routine and then you don't have the motivation, it sort of has that knock-on effect, doesn't it?
well, I wonder if it's when gardens become a burden rather than a pleasurable thing to do.
Yeah. It's hard to get back into it once you see it in that way as well.
So do you feel pressure from your allotment to make sure everything's you had said, if it
Yeah.
doesn't look kept up, there's well,
So
I mean, honestly, I've seen we don't obviously we don't have allotments here. So
mm,
I only know this based on experience with the UK.
mhm.
Um, but there's a lot of allotments that I see that look uh like nobody has worked that thing for a good
Yes.
decade.
Yeah.
And I think and I imagine somebody still maybe they don't, maybe they're vacant allotments, but it seems like
They're
there's
just
this
left.
long list of people who want them.
Yeah, that's the sad part, yeah.
Yeah, so I just think is that the pressure you feel or is the pressure like are they
I'm
really gonna send you a letter if you don't
I
cut
hope
your
not.
lawn for a couple of weeks?
No, I'm really lucky, I think, finding the allotment plot when I did, and I mean, and what is available to me. Like, I would never not appreciate that. And I'm also very lucky that they're very reasonable. I think they're very reasonable, very kind. Like, I think you can go and talk to them and let them know what's happening. So I don't feel that pressure as much, luckily.
Okay.
But I think I put that pressure on myself because I see it. So I'm in loads of like Facebook groups, and you can see when
Right.
people say, "Oh, I'm getting a letter. Can someone look at my allotment plot and tell me what's wrong with it?" And it'll be immaculate in my eyes, but they're
Yeah.
getting a letter. So I'm like, "Oh, what if mine gets like that?" So I think I put that pressure on myself, which makes it even worse.
Well, and
Um,
it's probably that you like a tidy allotment,
Yes,
perhaps,
yeah,
too.
absolutely, yeah, and no one
Yeah.
wants and I think it's also the pressure of no one wants to be that plot holder where the neighbours are like, "Oh, they've not looked after their plot, or I'm getting all the weeds come onto my plot, or theirs looks horrible and it's making mine look horrible." And I'm just like, "No, I don't wanna be that person, I don't want"
Well,
to
it's also different than this isn't like your neighborhood
Mhm.
where you're not gonna drive the property value down
No.
of an allotment, right? So
No.
so I think on that, I just wanna go, like, relax.
Yeah, chill.
This is a garden area. Your house will still be the value it is. I'm
That's
not
it,
hurting that. Uh,
absolutely.
here, Garden of Whedon is saying there's a lot of people that take plots on thinking it's easy. Uh, and
Jessie can attest to that, I'm sure. I'm pretty sure she's
well,
heard some stories.
yes. I heard one yesterday where a guy came to view a plot or allotment, I guess we won't call it a plot. That sounds like a funeral plot to me. Um, and he said, "Okay, so how do I get a polytunnel and a shed and where are all the tools? And I'm thinking, I don't even live in a country that has these. And I
Mm.
know you got to put them up yourself. Like, this is not. So I can see how some people just go into this with their blinders on.
Super easy. Yeah,
And I
absolutely.
think, oh my gosh.
Mm-mm. Especially the ones where you're starting out and it looks like, oh, I can get through that with a strimmer and I'll get it down to ground level. But when you really get in, if you've got brambles in there, you're gonna have to pull that out. Like, there really is so many different little things that you have to try and cultivate to even get it to a level where you can start planting in it. So it's really hard,
So
but
are
rewarding.
brambles just wild blackberries?
Hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
I think if you have a really industrial strimmer, you could probably do it. But when I tried it
Well,
once,
those are very woody
yeah.
stems, obviously. Yeah. Okay. Because I don't know that we have a lot. Well, at least I've not seen a lot of wild blackberries where we are.
Okay.
But I'm deep in suburbia, so everything's probably been manicured to death here.
Yeah.
Uh, let's see what else. Uh,
Claire's saying she's got the mare's tail game down now. I couldn't
well,
imagine that.
good for you, Claire. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think you need to share that with everybody. Uh, the right pair allotment, and this is a true thing. It's not just time consuming on the plot. It does carry over once
Mm.
you get home with the produce.
Oh, such a good point. Yeah.
Yeah, and I have really felt that this year
Yeah. Same.
more than most because I preserve a lot of things.
Yes.
But wow, this year I had
You
more
do it properly
peppers.
as well.
I had
Very
more
good.
peppers, and I grow peppers quite easily here. I don't know why,
Mhm.
but I've always had success with peppers. Uh, but oh my goodness, I don't think I'm gonna even grow
Processing.
hot peppers next year because I just have too many.
Just don't
Um,
need to.
I know, so that's not a bad thing,
Mhm.
but it's like, what do I do with all of these? And we were leaving for a month, and they were just coming in and coming in. So my freezer is just
Full.
jam-packed with
And
peppers.
do you have a second freezer? I'm
We
assuming.
have 2 refrigerators. We have
Okay.
one upstairs and one downstairs.
Yeah.
So my downstairs freezer is completely packed
Oh my
with
god.
peppers and tomatoes because there wasn't enough time to and you can freeze tomatoes. That's,
That's good.
noisy. You can still process them, but,
Mm.
uh, yeah.
That's a lot.
So, yeah. Now I was just going through my seeds today,
Mhm.
and I have a lot of seeds, and I will admit that, confess that, whatever.
Same.
I have a little bit of an addiction,
Yes.
to seeds. Happy to share them, but I do. Um, but I found it really motivating because
Okay.
I was feeling
What
a
to
little
go
down because
through?
we were gone, and I wasn't, I thought, "I missed that, I missed that, I missed
Yes.
this." Um, but going through the seeds today kinda got me
Right, a little
going,
boost.
"Oh, yeah."
Yeah.
I'm growing wheat this year for the first time,
Really? Okay.
not to
It's
make wheat and grind my own bread
I
flour.
was gonna say, is that why? But
No,
no.
it's black tipped wheat, and I'm
Right, never
growing
heard.
it for autumn arrangements.
Oh, lovely. Oh, that'd be really nice. So does it
Yeah,
dry? Dries well and
yeah,
then that'll
dries
last forever.
beautifully,
Okay.
and it's just tipped in, black. It's gorgeous,
I'm gonna have to Google that after. I'm having a
and I
look.
love black. Black is one of my favorite colors to decorate with. So,
Okay.
I'm trying to not always like you're going to flower a lot more flowers this year.
I think so.
I'm also trying not to just grow produce
Yes. Yeah.
because
It adds a little
sometimes I just
something.
yes,
Yeah.
I love a vase full of flowers.
Yes,
That
that's
works
it.
for me
Yeah.
every day of the week, that works for me. Um, Stephen is saying that oh, wait, Nicola wait, I'm gonna get to you, Stephen, 1 second. I just saw something a little further up. Uh, sometimes computers, I want them to do what I want them to do,
But they don't want to
and
do
and not
it.
what I'm telling it to do. Like, read my mind just a little bit, okay? Like Amazon, who's always
Oh,
telling me
don't
what they
they?
think I need. Uh, I think it was somebody wanted to try, How you doing for garlic country? Uh, I planted so much less this year, and it went well.
Okay.
I've got a couple freezer bags full of garlic, and I'm trying a new thing. I'm freezing it. I'm not peeling it before I freeze it. I'm
Oh,
freezing it in its jackets, the
why?
little paper jacket, because if you put it through a garlic press,
Hmm.
the papers won't go with it.
Right. Okay. Good
So I
tip.
thought rather than, you know, going through all of it, chopping it all,
Yeah.
because we had to do this quickly because we were leaving, right? So I thought, I'm just popping it all in the freezer,
There
and
you
it
go.
seems to be working okay.
Oh,
So
okay. I'm gonna try that.
I'm very happy with that. Like, that might become my new way to preserve garlic because
Hmm.
it doesn't get much easier than that. And somebody wanted to try a Brad's Atomic Grape.
I think I saw that.
Yeah, I would say try it. Oh, it's Nicola, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Try it. It has very, uh, diverse opinions on whether it's liked or not.
Hmm.
I find it tastes very tomatoey, and I like it. It's, like, more tomatoey than a lot of tomatoes.
Oh,
I
okay.
happen to like
Okay.
that flavor, uh, but if you don't, like, if you want it sweeter, you're probably not gonna love it, but it's not bitter in any way. It just tastes like a lovely tomato to me. Um, yes, Andy agrees that going through the seeds, and
Awesome.
it's really cold today,
So
so I can see myself tonight because I went through piles of magazines and whatnot, and I pulled out all my seed catalogs.
yes.
So I'm going to get a nice warm drink, and I'm gonna sit and get my sticky notes out.
Oh, it's just about
Start
to ask, do you circle them or how do
Oh,
you like
no,
keep
I
notes?
sticky
Sticky
note,
note.
and some of the catalogs are
Yeah.
absolutely ridiculous by the time I'm done.
Oh, it
But
feels like
it's a good
Christmas
place.
when I get them. It's
It
like, I'm assuming you don't have Argos in the US.
Argos.
It's
Yeah.
basically like a primitive version of Amazon. So you
Oh,
get a little
okay.
catalog and you can see all the stuff that you order. And every Christmas, like every child would get an Argos catalog and you'd put a ring around all the stuff that you wanted.
Okay.
That's what it feels like getting the seed catalogs now. You can get them
Oh,
all. You
yeah.
just, I want that one. I want that one.
Oh, absolutely.
It's great.
I think we used to do it with, like, the J.C. Penney catalog when it came in,
Yes, that would
'cause
be,
it was,
yeah,
like,
that's a great equivalent.
3 or 4 inches thick,
Yeah,
and
that's
so
it.
as a little kid, you're just like, "I need that, and I need
All
that."
of it.
And then by the time your parents get to it, they're like, "I can't even read what this is.
Also, this is
How many
getting very
circles?"
expensive.
Yeah. Okay, Locke is asking, uh, "Do I have any parsnips going for the grow along? It's only a little over a few weeks till reveal."
Been a long
Yeah.
time.
What about you, Soph? Do you have any?
I fell at the first hurdle. I was they weren't growing. Also, I did so I don't think I fully absorbed all the rules. And I didn't know we weren't meant to germinate them on paper towels. And I
Well,
remember when we put it in the chat and Steve was like, "No, no,
yeah, well, here,
qualified."
I wanna say, and this is my 2 cents worth. One of my aunts told me this on my wedding day, and it was some of the best advice. Best to ask forgiveness than permission.
Right. Absolutely.
So,
I could have
the
kept it
mistake
quiet.
I think we made was we're trying to, like, get these rules down, uh, because I planted my parsnips as the rules dictated, and
Yeah.
I got bupkis. No.
Yeah.
So, this coming year, I'm pre-chitting them and then
Yeah,
planting them, which is what I would have done, but out of respect for Steve,
that's exactly
I'm gonna give him a wink and a nod and go, "Yeah, I'm chitting 'em, sorry, dude."
yeah, it's
Uh,
happening.
yeah, it's happening because I actually would like to get some. So, Locke, you have definitely beaten me.
Mhm. I think
That
there'll be some good
I will
ones.
give you that one, for free, like, yeah, you beat me. I think, Claire might be someone that you might wanna look out for
Yes.
because her parsnips look
Healthy.
pretty darn good.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I saw one other one over on the Potty Mouth Discord,
Hmm.
and they looked like tree trunks.
Oh, there's
And
going
I
to be some
thought,
good ones.
so
I'm actually excited to see. Because we did, there's going to be like a best one, but I feel like there should also be some weird and wonderful ones because I'm sure there's going to be some interesting.
well, because then you go, let's define best. Okay, what you think is the best might not be what I think is the best.
This is very true.
So I'm thinking, is it going to be how much it weighs? Is it going to be how
Of
long it
course.
is?
Yeah, very good point.
Um, yeah, because in my mind, it doesn't have to be that big to be a good parsnip,
Mm-mm.
right? A lot of times they're younger and sweeter, and
Yes, yeah. Oh, taste. I don't even thought about, not that taste would be too hard, but there's so many different categories.
yeah.
I have to do a
So,
vote. Maybe like I'm not sure what Tony wants to, or like the team want to do, but maybe like the most, everyone puts their photos in, there'll be like the most votes on it or most
well, I think at
reactions.
this point, although this was Steve's baby,
Yeah.
we're going to have to come up with some kind of criteria because I know that the prize was bragging rights.
Hmm.
That was,
There's
which
plus.
sometime in and of itself is plenty. Um, this is from Margaret Alice. Hope you're keeping the live chat when it goes online. I'm getting so many tips, I can't keep up. Please. Oh
Oh,
yeah, this goes online. Mine takes about, I don't know why, doesn't go up immediate. You'll see Soph and I live, but the chat won't go live till maybe tomorrow. But
too slow.
absolutely, it goes, and I'll leave it up till, I don't know. I'm not on YouTube anymore. Which, yeah, Canada was the Sears catalog instead of the pennies. I get it.
Okay,
Yes,
that's it. Oh,
that's
I love that it's
awesome.
universal then. That's great.
Oh yeah, I think little kids and the possibility of circling toys and things they want. I don't think that will ever
No.
go out of fashion. Let's see. Anybody else? So, are you doing anything differently this coming year, so to try to alleviate the burnout?
I think so. Something's got to change because there was a point where I was thinking to myself, like, I'm not enjoying it. Like, this is my hobby. Like, this is something I really love. And at the moment, I've got a little stint where I'm not enjoying it. But like I said, now I've been planning and looking at stuff like that. I know that joy is there and I just wouldn't give it up. But I think it's just taking small steps. So I want to be more consistent. So I want to get a better routine of obviously going and then doing like maintenance jobs versus the fun jobs.
Right.
Um, I do have a list. Keeping a cleaner and tidier plot as well. Obviously, that will make me more happy.
That's kind of
Just
like keeping a tidier and cleaner home,
yeah,
right? It's just happier.
clean mind, clean,
Yeah.
clean plot, clean mind.
Yes. Just gives
um,
you room to think. Yes.
yes, that's it. And I think it's just I think consistency will be the key one for me. Is just doing a routine, and then everything else will fall into place after that. And I think one of the things is better organisation as well. So getting some structures up that are going to help me make things quicker and easier. And
Mhm.
it's just getting that efficiency. Once the efficiency's there, and all the big chore things that take up all the most of my time are kind of alleviated, then that's when the fun comes. I think that's the battle I'm sort of going up against at the moment is chores, 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 chores. It's like I want to do the fun stuff, but
Now, do you think YouTube has put any pressure on you too?
a
Like,
little bit. I think a little bit. Not again. It's pressure I put on myself. I'm like, oh,
sure. Oh yeah, I'm not saying YouTube is actually putting pressure on you because they don't care what we do.
yeah,
But I just wonder if in the back of your, because there are days when in the back of my head I'm like, why am I not filming this?
yeah. But you
Uh,
just need to get it done. It's like I could film this, but it's going to add an
exactly,
extra like hour or so.
exactly. Although I
I
think,
just
how
need to
many
get it done.
times does someone want to see me harvest tomatoes?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, I get there's a little bit of a, like a potato reveal. I
yeah.
could watch those
Oh,
till the
I
cows
love
come
them.
home.
Yeah,
Why? I have no idea.
it's
Because
exciting.
either it's a great harvest, it's not a great harvest, someone's gonna be digging them out of the dirt,
That's
dumping a pot. I mean, there's no, but I love watching those.
Yeah, that's it. It's like a comfort watch. I do. I agree.
Yeah, so I feel that in the back of my mind, like, you should be filming this and getting a
Mhm.
video up filming this, getting a video out.
And if you don't, you feel like, oh, that's another week I've not filmed, or oh, it's not. And the thing is that I love filming and I love talking to everyone. I love doing YouTube and stuff. But I forget that it is a journal, so I can see throughout the seasons what everything looks like when things started.
Absolutely.
And I
It's the
forget that
best for
sometimes.
that.
Yeah, I forget that, and it becomes more, instead of keeping a journal of, okay, I know how that snapdragon's growing through each stage because I've got it. It becomes more, oh, I need to get that angle, or oh, I need to make sure that's in the shot, and that does put pressure on, I do think. Yeah.
And yet that's what makes the videos more interesting to
Yeah,
watch, right?
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I
It's
get it.
hard.
I get it. Here's my next question. Are you planning to give something up to make more time to be in the garden?
I would love to give up cooking dinners every evening. That would be nice. That's like 2 hours out of my time. That's what needs to happen.
Okay.
I think maybe I just need to go down more on my lunch times and after work. That's my biggest thing. I was doing the lunch times, which is quite time consuming because it's like an hour. I've only got that hour slot. Whereas once it's spring, summer, if I go after work, that's maybe like another 2, 3 hours I could do. So I'm
Yeah.
thinking it's not so much giving up, but I just need to go more. I think that's what I'm struggling with.
So do a little more often.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely that.
Because right now, I think since you said it was getting dark there at 4,
Yeah,
there's really no
okay.
after work time right now.
Absolutely not. No.
So that leaves it all to the weekend.
Yeah, all to the weekend, and then just maybe the odd lunch here and there,
Yeah.
which it's not enough. It's not enough.
Yeah. It's not. It's not. These are,
Mm.
yeah. But I wonder if there are things like you had said that we can put in place. I mean, like I have irrigation now.
Do you?
Boy, that helped. Like, okay, I don't have to water unless it's in a
That's good.
pot. I
Yeah.
don't have to water it.
But they've got
So,
pot irrigation as well, I've seen, because I looked
yes.
into that. It's
Well,
all
actually,
fancy.
I said that, but I'm thinking my big pots
Mhm.
have a drip going to those.
Okay.
So you can always
They've got
add.
something.
Yeah, you can always add. That has been a game changer.
Yeah.
That really has. Now I know for allotments that's a whole different ball game, but for
Yeah.
the home
Yeah.
garden,
Game
that has
changer.
really helped me. Really
Yeah.
helped me.
It's that, and that's it. It's those little efficiencies that just give you back some of your time, so then you can do different things that then make the overall plot, garden, whatever you're working on, just that little bit easier and better and fun.
And I'm with you. I just like a pretty good. I mean, this is my backyard. I sit out on this deck and that's my life. And I go, I don't want to be looking at weeds coming out of,
Mm-mm.
I'd like to. Now I am trying. We do have a big area behind our garage that's like 70 feet by 16 or 32 feet.
Oh,
I think
okay.
it's 32 feet. And I'm going to put down black fabric
Right. Okay.
and then like burn holes in that to plant
Yes.
just for weed purposes.
Yeah.
Because this thing, it brings up those thistly weeds
What, the
that,
really spiky, horrible
yes,
ones?
that you
Oh,
don't want to
yeah.
go. And there also used to be lily of the valley growing in there.
Okay.
And lily of the valley does not want to die
I was gonna
gracefully.
say, does that spread as well quite big?
Oh,
Yeah.
it's my chard, I
Is
guess.
it?
It is, and I get it. It's pretty for a second. It
Yeah,
smells cute, but it will
not
take
when it's
over.
yeah, that's it. When it's taken over, it's not good.
It will
Not at all.
take over. Yes, absolutely.
Mm.
Let's see. Oh, I have missed a ton of
What's
conversation.
happening? I've just looked at Danny's latest message, and I'm wondering what's happened.
Yeah, I am way behind. Okay, I'm just having a lovely conversation, so it's hard for me to keep up. Okay, here's a question, totally off
Mhm.
topic. What's your favorite gardening tool? And I only say this so that as gardeners, we can all maybe look at different things or decide kind of for a
Absolutely.
Christmas list, put it on our Christmas list, get me this.
Does it have? Okay, so gardening tool that I'll actually use outside. I thought it was a hori knife, which I think everyone will attest to. That is probably the best.
It's my
Um,
favorite.
yeah, but I think it was just a weeding tool, and it's kind of like it's pointy and it's got two like V prongs at the bottom,
Uh-huh.
and that used to pop dandelions out so quick. And I've got to say that has been hands down the most helpful, handy little tool. Um,
Oh,
you can kind of get them on Amazon. I'm pretty sure I typed in hori knife and it just come up with like a dandelion de-weeding tool. So
now
I'd
did
say
it
that
take up the big root? Because me dandelion
pops
roots
it.
are.
Literally, you hear it, pops it, the whole thing comes out. It's really satisfying, actually. It's really good.
Oh, you should do a video of just doing that and
Maybe I
just
will.
leave the sound on of the pop. I think I think that's great. Uh,
And if not, if inside, I would say the infamous, was it the Garland's heated propagator? That
okay,
has been at the start of the year, that thing was a powerhouse, and I would 100% recommend that for getting everyone's
great,
little seedlings started. Yeah,
awesome.
those would be my top two.
For all these catalogs, we're going to be looking at over
All the
the
little new
next.
bits.
Yeah. Uh, okay. I think I missed a whole lot of what
Yeah.
people's mojo was doing. I don't even know if I can go back that far right now. So I think we've come up with we need to do whatever activities are that like re-encourage us.
That's
Like
it.
what were the things that first excited us about doing it?
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
maybe looking back on last year's photos on what we
That's a big motivator, isn't it?
gleaned from our garden
Yeah.
and yeah, because they're so beautiful.
Photos are great. Photos are just great to have in general, just to see. Because a lot of time I feel like, oh, I've not done anything, I've not progressed. And even when I put one of the photos, like my anniversary photo up on Instagram, just looking back at to where it was to what I've done, it's like,
Oh,
no, actually I
yeah.
have. I've done okay on my own actually. So I
Yeah, no,
don't
you've
really have anyone
done.
helping me. So
Yeah, I think when you take on a new area that you don't know what's gonna be coming up,
that's
which you didn't and all this stuff came up, um, yeah, you gotta give yourself some time to just
yeah.
even see what's there.
So it's those photos that just help. So I think I'd say to anyone, if you're kind of struggling, just make sure you're taking photos throughout the whole year. It helps 100%.
Yeah, and even take a photo of a horribly weedy bed and then a picture of it when it's not,
Oh, that's good.
and
That's
there
really
you're
good.
like, "Got a little satisfaction here." Like, "This is what I've done." Now, Claire was I don't wanna call you out here, Claire, but I know you've had a whole lot in your life going on, and you did say that, your mojo for the garden was really slipping. Have you found that maybe to, regenerate a little bit now that I know you're spending more time, at your allotment? So, I guess I am calling you out. If you don't wanna answer me, that's okay. But you're so kind, I'm thinking you will. Uh, yeah.
Good.
So, yeah. And I think also I love this community of gardeners that
Mhm.
I have been blessed to meet, um, and that helps me when I'm even feeling like, "Ugh, I don't wanna,"
Yeah,
we all
that's
get
it.
those days. It
Yeah.
keeps me going to see what all of you are doing
Yes,
and the victories that you are having,
that's it.
uh, and
Whenever that is actually such a good point because I think I consume a lot of YouTube and I consume a lot of gardening YouTube, and sometimes you see something where someone has the exact same issue that you're having, they deal with it, and you're like, "Oh, do you know what? I'm gonna go do that now." Like, yeah, I can do that.
yeah,
So yeah,
and gosh,
it's
that just
really
might
good.
work for me, so I'm gonna do that, yeah. Or even to know that you're not in it alone.
Yeah,
Like, these people are kind of fighting the same thing you're fighting.
that's it.
Yeah, and weather and, overcommitment, I think, is something we all struggle with
Big one. Yeah.
because we live here, in a world that is always calling us to do something next. So, uh, so anyway, I think, Pauline, you're so
That's us.
sweet. So
That's so nice.
sweet. Um, so anyway, I think we're kind of coming up near the hour here.
So quick.
Oh,
Always goes so
this
quick.
was, and it was so good to catch up with you.
I know, it's been so long.
I know we were so used to doing this regularly, so I hope we'll still be doing this regularly. It just might look
Yeah.
different, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, love to have you back on, and maybe after you've looked at a few more seed catalogs,
Oh,
and we'll discuss maybe what's coming. I can't wait till this evening. I'm just going to thoroughly enjoy.
I've just been trying to stock list mine because I can't keep looking through the boxes. I've got it all in an Excel sheet now. I just need to go
Well, I
through
have
it.
mine in a database, so I
Yes.
understand. Like,
Yeah.
you got to,
It's
because
just
I have
so much
like
better.
478, or no, maybe it's more than that.
God.
Anyway, I'm clearing house a little bit though. So
Yeah.
my little stand across the street's going to get some new seeds for this year.
Oh, good.
So
That's cool.
anyway, I want to thank all of you for spending time with us live in the midst of your day. I appreciate that so much, and I know, there's other things calling for you as well at the same time. So you all have a great evening. So good to have you here.
Thank you.
We
Thank you
will
for
do this
asking.
again. We will do this again very soon. And happy, healthy, mojo-filled gardening week to all of you. Okay? We'll see you same time next week.
See you
Bye
later.
now.
Bye-bye.